Hi everyone, welcome to the Data Science with Bruce YouTube channel, where we help aspiring data scientists be career ready and talk about applying data science in real life. If you're currently looking for a job as a data scientist, you might find yourself in a pretty unique situation where you're offered a position as the first data scientist in the company. I think this is something not covered in a lot of videos. Now, some friends and I have personally come across this situation in a couple of times at certain points of our careers. And in this video, we're going to share our experience on the pros and cons of being the first data scientist and whether you should take up this position or not. The short answer is that good or not depends on your personal circumstances. In general, being the first data scientist means that you get to decide on a lot of things, like the data architecture, the machine learning framework that the company has to use. But at the same time, it also means a lot of responsibilities, and perhaps that's where some of the imposter syndromes comes in as well. And the thing is that you will need a certain level of experience to do well, and the skills are generally more broad because you have to do a lot of stuff, not just the whole DS cycle, but also bits and pockets of ML ops, framing business problems, meeting users at different levels and talking to different people. And some of the decisions that you make can have a far-reaching effect on the company. They could sound exciting to certain people, but it sounds intimidating to some other people as well. To top things off, it actually depends on whether you are in the big or small company like startups, and which stage of the career are you currently at. One of the biggest advantage of being the first data scientist in a startup is that you get to grow together with the company and make mistakes together. They have a higher tolerance for mistakes and is perhaps a better fit for entry-level data scientists. Secondly, it can be a fun experience. At the same time, the biggest disadvantage is that you are likely to deal with a lot of work that comes before the actual creative data science work, like data collection, data engineering, setting up the data infrastructure. You might have to do that for a very long time before you get to do real data science work. So if you see that as a long-term place to go into, that might worth the hassle and trouble. The biggest advantage of being the first data scientist in a company is that the stakes are higher because they probably already have hundreds of clients that they want to apply data science on. So the scale of the problem in a big company is very different from a small company. Secondly, from a career standpoint, it can be a good position to climb the corporate ladder, as data science projects generally have higher visibility. And we know that having high visibility is very important to gaining promotions and getting good bonuses. On the other hand, the disadvantage of being the first data scientist in a big company is that you have the responsibility to educate business stakeholders on data science processes. They are likely to have a certain level of expectations of data science from vendors or white papers, and it's your responsibility to align their expectations to actually what is going on in the data science world. Secondly, the office politics and red tapes can actually hamper data science projects, and the experience might not be as fun as what you would get in startups. In our experience, data science projects in startups can be a lot of fun because you get to drive the project in the direction that you want and you can go as fast as you want. But for bigger companies, there are a lot of stakeholders involved. There are also a lot of timelines that tag along with it. Generally speaking, there are pros and cons on being the first data scientist of a company, be it in a big or small one. One advantage is that it's actually easier to ace an interview since nobody knows anything. And you get to wear many hats, and this can be pretty valuable skills down the road, especially when you're aspiring to be a data science manager. Some of these soft skills that you gain can actually pay huge dividends. Now, the disadvantage is that the superior that you're reporting to is likely a non data science person, so it might not understand you, and that might actually cause some obstruction when you're trying to drive the data science project forward. And being the first data scientist in the team means that you miss out on an environment that you can have someone to bounce idea with, and that sometimes can feel a bit lonely. Alright, we are now at the end of the video. So should you be the first data scientist of a company? Comment down below on what you think about it. If you like what you're watching so far, help us out by liking and subscribing to the channel. It will really help us a lot.